Hello and welcome back to another video. In part 1 of this guide, we look at platform display, static text, train destination, as well as passenger information from the advanced display boards. If you haven't checked that one out already, make sure to go take a look at that one after you finish this one. And in today's video, we'll be looking at the departure board, how to add multiple platforms to the same station, as well as configuring the different train lines. If you find this tutorial useful, make sure to like and subscribe as it really helps the channel out a lot. And without further ado, let's get started. We'll first start off with the departure board. Once again, place down your advanced display board and right click it with your Create mod wrench. Then you can choose platform departure board, which you can only choose table. Now you will notice that it will say too small if your display board setup is too small. That is because the departure board is meant for all the train departures from a single large train station from every single platform. So it's meant to be a bit bigger, and you're meant to have multiple lines of it so that it can show all of the different information in a nice big screen. Now let's take a look at the advanced settings that this board provides. Once again, you have your font color, background color, and you can choose how you want to display it. I like estimated time of arrival. Down below you have a selection to choose how wide each of the columns are. For most of the time, the default one is fine, but once again, if you want a special look, you can fiddle with these numbers to make your board look the way you like. Then we have show arrival of trains. You usually want this option selected to show your different train that is arriving, even if they change their schedule section. So choose this one, click it. And the final one, you have show train color, which you usually want if you have a specific train color. Of course, if your train doesn't have any color, then it doesn't really matter. Now you want to link your board to your station. So once again, you want a display link. Click any block on your display board and add it to your station. After you put it in your station, you want to select advanced display. Now the one new thing you want to change is that if you, for example, in this yellow station, you have two different platforms, and unfortunately this one is called P2 while the first one is called platform 1. So you want to show the information of both platforms on the same display board. So what you want to do is right click into the display link that is connected to your departure board, and in here you want to change the station name filter. You want to just change P1 to P star. This star will allow you to basically be a wildcard, so any platform that is yellow station platform something will be displayed. So now you see both of my trains appear on the display board now, because I've changed the one to a star, which includes this station as well. So now let's take a look at the different train lines. To do that, you'll need to go to Global Settings. After clicking in here, you'll see a brand new set of options you can choose from. Now each of these have a Get Help button, which will link you to their wiki page so you can have a further read on how these work, but I'll still go through all of them. The first one is this train station tag. This combines multiple platforms into one station, just like what we have over here, where we have two platforms in the same station. So to do that, we simply click the little arrow, and under here we want to click Add New Entry. Then we want to give it a name. Just usually put in your main station name, so yellow station. This name doesn't really matter, it doesn't have to match anything. And over here you have your modification, which if you lock it, then only you can change it. If you have it unlocked, then if you're playing on a server, then anyone can edit it. Then you also have a delete tag, which if you locked it, then no one else can delete your tag. If you click onto your yellow station, you'll now see you can type your train station name and the platform label. So the way you want to do this is just type in your platform, and you can have a platform label, so I'll just call these P1. Then you click add. Do the same for all of your platform on the same station. And there we go, this is now set up. And this is mostly used when we have a connection. So last time when I talked about the passenger information board, you can also see the different connecting trains that you can change on the same station. Unfortunately, if you haven't got the station tag before, then it'll only show the train arriving at this specific station block. But now, because we have linked all the two different station blocks to the same station, it will now also actually show connecting trains on the other platform. You'll notice that after I have configured the train station tags, you now see the platform column on the departure board actually shows which platform the train is departing from. This also goes to your platform displays, which you'll see which platform this board is currently linked to. So if you have a multi-platform station, make sure to always configure this. Next up, we have train station blacklist. This is only useful for trains that you don't really want it to appear in specific station. So once again, it works similar to your station tag. You just add a station and then click the add button. But unfortunately, this one is a lot more rare to use, and in my case for these stations, I wouldn't really be using a blacklist because I want trains to go to all of these different stations. Then we have train blacklist, which means that they will not show up in your different displays. So even if the train arrives at the station, it won't show. This could be useful, for example, if you have a really large station which house both passenger trains, so like for actual passengers, as well as freight trains. You don't really want to let your customer know whether a freight train is taking off, because they won't be using the freight train as for transporting cargoes. So you could add your freight train into a blacklist so that it will be removed from the departure board. Then we also have train category. This allows you to categorize the trains together. So once again, here just give it a name. I'll call them droid trains. And over here, you can give them a specific color, and I'll just give it a bit of a red. Now here isn't the place you add your train to a category, but I'll show you later where you actually add them. And lastly, we have train lines. This one is where you actually give the color to a train line, which where in the displays it will actually show the train line name instead of the train name, as well as the color if you have selected that option. This one is once again just a name. So for this one here, I have the different train lines. So for example, this train goes between the yellow station and the blue station, and this purple train goes from the yellow to the red. So over here, I can do a train line called yellow red train, and I'll also have a yellow blue train. So this one I'll give it a blue color because it's blue, and the red one will give it a red. Now if you want to, you can also have a custom color, so you can make this a bit more red. Oh, I want it to be a slightly more redder color, and there we go, done. So you now see this one is a lot more vibrant over here. Now with all those configured, you won't the train color and the train line still doesn't actually show up on any of the boards. That's because you still actually need to configure them inside the train schedule. So let's go through them now. So over here, when you click add actions, this mod actually adds a couple of new things at the bottom. We have new scheduled section, reset timing, and prioritize destination. So the one you'll be mostly using is new scheduled section, and because they don't have enough space to put in all the configuration, you actually have a configure button. Don't be scared, it's nothing that difficult. After you click it, you'll see this GUI where you can assign the train category. What this means is that you can actually swap between the different category and line for the same train in the same schedule. So for this one, it is going between the red station and it's a droid train, so you just select that. Now here is a very weird one, which is called include start of next section. Now you might not really understand what it means, but for most of the time it is very useful, and I'll go through what it means now. To demonstrate what start of new section actually does, I have set up a small little demo over here, where we have a basalt station, a prismarine station, and an endstone station, where the train will just go back and forth between these guys. In your train schedule, you set up train to go from basalt, then it'll go to prismarine, then it'll go to endstone, then it'll go back to prismarine, and then back to basalt. When you include start of next section, it will include the last stop in the previous section. So for example, I say new section, and then I have basalt, and then I go to prismarine. And now before I go to endstone, we actually want a new section, and then it says endstone, prismarine, and that's it. And it'll loop back to a new section where it's the basalt. What this can do is that it'll allow you to not repeat station in your train schedule, while allowing the train to still know that you are just looping around. What you want to do in this case is you want to go to new schedule section, you want to have just whatever your train line and train category is, include start of next section, select that, and then here you want it to go to basalt, then it wants to go to prismarine. And now before you type endstone, you want a new section once again. Now these can have the exact same configurations, it doesn't matter. And you also want to include start of next section. Now you finally put endstone. And then you want to put prismarine. And then that's it, you don't want to put basalt, because by the time it goes to prismarine, it will have looped back to the new section, which will include start of next section, which is the basalt. So that is the general idea. You want to do this if you're making your train line go back and forth and you need to use include start of next section. I hope that explanation of what start of next section means. It also took me a long time to actually understand what it exactly means, so let me know if you still don't understand it in the comments. Now once again, you'll need to let your train go for a complete loop before you actually see anything new. So just give it some time for a loop and then we'll see what changes. Alright, there we go. You now see that instead of showing the train name, you see the actual train line, which is the one we defined in our train line. And you see, because we selected the red color, we actually see the red color showing up over here. And yeah, that is how train line works. It looks very cool. And I hope you understand what include start of next section means. Just before I end the video, I'll talk about the two other items added by the mod. The first one is the train station clock, which is purely aesthetic. If you right click on it, you'll see that it shows the in-game time on your on top of your hotbar. If you right click this also on a different direction, it'll become a clock that you can see on all four sides. Well, unfortunately it will mean there's some part that you can X-ray, so what you can do is that if you get some metal girder, then you can put your clock on top, and then it will look pretty nice in some places. And this is just an aesthetic block. The other item added is your phone, which is a navigator. This one basically allows you, it's just like Google Maps, you choose where you start, you choose where you want to go, and then just search for the best best one you want to go. So it will show you how it works and like blah blah blah. Now this is in the past, so let's search for a new one. Alright, here after you click on it, it will say, oh, how long until a departure, and you can also see all the different things you need to do. Just literally just Google Maps in Minecraft. If you click pop up, you can see that it will show on the top left, or well, you can configure it as well. So if you do Control R, you can see where you want to put it. This pop-up on your screen, you can put it on the different locations. Personally, top left is fine, and yeah, you just do all of this, and you can see where you want to go. When your journey is done, you can just simply remove route overlay, and there we go. Literally just Google Maps added to your game. Pretty self-explanatory. There you go, that's the complete guide I have for you for Create Railway Navigator. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments, and if you find this tutorial useful, please like and subscribe. It really helps out a lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye now.